what did Korchinski show you during camp to go along on Elting?
Just his ability to skate with the puck and without the puck sometimes. Like, I think that's good, and we talk to him consistently about using his speed on defensive things, defensive assignments as well, and that's just going to allow him. He's got a big gas tank too, so he can extend some of that gas tank playing defense and still have lots to go on the offense, and just to make sure that he's just ready for every shift at this level. I know coming from a lower level with a guy with that kind of ability, sometimes, not everybody on the other team is a dangerous player that he would have to be on his toes for, where the NHL, it's every shift, it's every person, every player. And not that he would fall asleep, but young players just aren't used to this. They're used to being the better player and relying on their skills to get them back into the play or to catch up to the play, where the NHL will be long past you if you don't. So we're just continually to keep on top of them. But he's great. He learns every day, and you can see him implement, even during the game, what we tell him later on in the video clips, like he's implementing into his game, even defensively. Offensively, I don't even know if we have to help him there. I think he's got the instinct to go, and he's got the gas to get back and cover up himself. So he's shown a lot more strength and maturity this year than he was last year, and I think he's shown he's ready to start.
Did you envision him permanently, or?
Well, we just told him, it's just like everybody else in the league. It's the best league in the world, and he's great. Congratulations, you're in the spot, but now it's every day is to keep it.
But with you young defensemen, how patient are you in terms of mistakes? Because you're going to see some, obviously. And how much is that, patience either is affected by your own playing career, obviously, since you know the position so well?
You know what? I think it's just like anything. I think definitely we'll have patience for everybody on the team. It's a fast game, but when you see reoccurring events and there's no change, that's when you get a little concerned. Obviously, spend more time with a younger player than maybe an older player that knows, and he knows that can't happen again, or it could affect his ice time or even his job. But I think you spend more time with the young guys. You show them some video. Video is such a big tool nowadays. Now it's even on the bench. You don't have to wait till in between the periods. We don't want to go too much into that, because I want everybody on the bench following the game and watching the game, because you learn that way as well. And you're into the game and you know what's going on. But we have to use the technology to kind of help along, especially younger players. And like I said, I have no problem with, especially on defense, it's a hard position to play, the way the rules are now to defend. And you have to really, and skating ability for, all three young guys, Vlasic, Kaiser, and Korchinski can skate. So that'll help them defend. But it's still a tough job, and they've all made mistakes, seeing them play, in training camp this year or at the end of last year. But I like how their approach is, and they really try and put in what we're telling them into their game plan and get better. So there's really I'm not worried there. It's just that's what you look out for, though, is reoccurring mistakes. That means maybe they're not ready for something, or they can't, live up to that job at this point in time. But right now, I'm confident that they're going to do it.
What was the message that Isaac Phillips?
You know what? Tough when you're the last, choice to go down off of our list. But he almost kind of like give him the same. Like I told him, he made such great big strides. I thought he played more assertive. He moved the puck, but there's circumstances that he's going down, and there's other guys here, and there's a few areas where he just needs to, maybe if he can clean up a little bit of his puck handling, and he can't work on that here. The NHL's a tough place to work on that. So why not go down and be like the Vlasic last year? Your assignment is to take that last step. Take that last step. Be the main guy. Work on your puck movement skills. His skating is excellent. His assertiveness playing defense was getting better, but I think he can take even a step more and be the man out there. That's my ice. Command it and show that, where people stop even dumping it in your corner. They want to go to the other side of the ice, and that's probably the wrong play. So I think that all of that has to it's just that one little bigger step. It's part of it is maybe a personality on the ice and a little bit of skill on the ice. Other than that, he's a man. He took it well. I'm sure he was disappointed, but he knows what he has to do and just take that last final step. And he will be here, and we told him, he knows last year when he comes up, he doesn't just sit here and not play. When he does come up, we play him. And let's make sure you just take that one more step to be ready, that much more ready for it.
For the forwards, what went into waiving or putting Anderson on waivers and keeping it with Kachuk and Reese up here?
Yeah, I think they all showed a lot of good, just like they did at the end of last year. And unfortunately, it's just a numbers game. That's where we went. I thought Reese really deserved that chance. He plays with his heart in his sleeve every shift, and we need that physicality. We don't really have a lot of that in our lineup. And, NC, I thought he had a good camp. He had a strong camp. He skated well. He scored a couple nice goals. And, he's just like anybody else that's kind of in another lineup, probably needs to get a little stronger, like physically. And he's got to work on that through the season. But he's a guy that's intangible where you can play him at center, on left wing, right wing, in front of the net, in the power play, on one of the units, or even on the penalty kill. So he's got some versatility, and that helps a lot too. And then Boris, I thought he had an excellent finish to last year. He's played well in training camp. He got a couple of assists, but I'd like to see him shoot that puck a little more. He's got a great shot. I think he wants to make a play all the time, and I think, if he can shoot that puck a little more, and he scored some goals at the end of last year, then that'll just open up the plays even easier for him to see. I spoke to him about that today. So those guys, I think they deserve to be here. Not that Andy didn't. It just comes down to numbers at that point.
Has the final decision been made for a leadership group?
Yep. We announced earlier we're not going to have a captain with a C this year, but we have lots of captains on this team. So I think, we're going to continue on with Seth and Murph. Done a great job. They've been here, and I put a lot of onus on veteran leaders, but also guys that have had put time in here, and they've been here. And then I think bringing in Nick and Corey Perry, that's why they're here. They're here to lead. So they're going to split home and away. I think it's going to be Corey at home the first half of the season and Nick on the road the first half of the season, and we'll flip-flop that. And then, of course, we've got Tyler Johnson that always is, we need him, we throw an A on him, but he plays with whatever he has on his jersey. He doesn't care, and he's that type of leader with with his kind of background with winning and at every level, and just the way he plays every shift. So he's our leader and in our leadership group for sure, and so is Taylor Hall. But those other guys will wear the letters unless they go down for injury.
Yeah, kind of brought that up with Bernard and what kind of voice he feels he has, and he says he doesn't want to be an 18-year-old screaming at guys, but he can influence with his play. What do you think about this comment?
Yeah, I think that's great. I think he's a pretty humble kid. I don't think he likes to be too flashy, and I could see him just being a little bit more quiet. He needs to start talking on the ice a little bit more, just like all of our team. I think a lot of younger players come up and are not as loud as some of the older school guys, but that's very helpful on the ice, especially if you're a centerman, down low and all over the place. But I think I think he definitely is a guy that just goes about his business and wants his play to kind of tell the story, and I think I'm sure we'll see that. So I'm looking forward to that. But you know what, when he has something to say, and I think whether he's on the power play or let's say a 5-on-3, we need to have his views on how he sees things as well, because everybody on the team as well as the coaching staff need to play off of that.
Being the road team and home opener is a unique circumstance, and you get 3 in a row to start the season. Any thoughts on what the young guys can do to maybe temper their emotions for the extra 20 minutes at that time?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think we had to go through that last year with a lot of ceremonies and then some opening nights. So, the guys that were here have gone through that can help them. I think the veteran guys that have been through it before can help them. And you know what? I'm sure at different levels, whether it be World Juniors or Memorial Cups or Final Four, Frozen Fours, I'm sure they've all gone through it somewhere, point in their life that there's a delay. And as a professional athlete, it's hard. It's hard to stop and then restart back where you left off, but that's part of being a pro athlete. I think you have to learn how to do that. So I'll just lean on the veterans in that room to help them.